Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are putting on our performance marketing hats,
We are.
and we're plunging straight into a mechanical shift on Instagram that, well, it really changes the game for how creators get paid.
Yeah, we're talking about a powerful new ad format. And, forget new story filters or longer reels.
Right.
This is about taking something that's always been there, the comment section, and actually monetizing it.
Turning a comment into a paycheck.
Literally. A creator's short endorsement becomes an instant paycheck.
The genius of it, or maybe the audacity, is that they're focusing on actual comments. This was always supposed to be the organic, user-driven part of the platform.
And now it's becoming professional inventory. The official name is Testimonials, and it's being integrated right into the partnership ads system that's already there.
So it's not just a new placement. It feels like a much bigger strategic shift.
It is. It's a whole new business model for a part of the platform that was, basically uncontrollable before.
Yeah. Okay, so our mission today, we're going to unpack the mechanics of these paid testimonials. We'll get into the implications for Meta, the big questions around trust, and then, most importantly, we'll give you some actionable advice for creators and brands who want to jump on this.
Let's dig in.
All right, so let's just define the format super simply.
Okay, so a creator, someone with a following, writes a very short endorsement for a product.
Like a little review.
Exactly, a tiny review. And the brand can then take that comment, the creator's name, their text, and turn it into a mini ad. It's basically guaranteed social proof.
The key thing, the part that gives it its power, is the visibility.
Right.
It's not just floating around the comment section hoping for likes. It gets pinned.
Pinned right at the very top of the comments on a brand's post or their real ad. It is literally engineered to be the first piece of feedback anyone sees.
Yeah, think about that user journey for a second.
Okay.
You see an ad for, I don't know, some new skincare product. You scroll down to see if people are saying it's a scam.
Which is what everyone does.
Exactly. And the very first thing you see is a well-known beauty creator saying, my skin stopped freaking out after I started using this serum.
That's the testimonial.
And that creator just got paid for that one line.
And it has to be a short line, which is another key detail.
Yeah, let's talk about that constraint. Under 125 characters, that feels like a very intentional choice.
Oh, it's definitely intentional, strategic. That length forces the message to be super punchy, tweet length. It's direct.
Mobile friendly.
Right. But I think more importantly, that brevity probably simplifies the legal disclosure side of things.
That makes sense.
Like a full, long review needs all this disclosure language. But a single 125-character sentence, it's likely a much simpler, faster compliance process.
So Meta is creating an inventory unit that's high impact but also low friction. They don't want a long video. They just want the marketing punchline. And they want it fast.
Now, when we look at the money side of this, the financial architecture, it's interesting.
How so?
Meta has put up a kind of firewall. Instagram gives you the valuable real estate, that pinned comment slot, but they are not setting the price.
Okay, so brands and creators negotiate that themselves.
Directly. The rate, the duration, all the terms, it's all handled between them.
That separation is so important. It means Meta is basically stepping back and saying,
you handle the business contract.
we'll give you the ad slot and the tools to track it, but the deal is yours. So the payment is happening completely outside of Instagram.
And that's where it gets complicated again. The workflow sounds easy, right? Creator writes, brand attaches, comment gets pinned.
Sounds simple.
But the negotiation has to cover all these little pitfalls. Since it's a direct payment, you, the creator, have to be so careful about specifying how long the campaign will run.
Right. Are they paying you for a month? 6 months? What if they want to use that ad in a different country?
Does your fee cover that? Does it cover it in perpetuity?
Exactly. We all know how messy digital asset rights can get. If you give them a short testimonial and they run that ad for 3 years across Europe,
You've just massively undercharged if you didn't negotiate for that upfront.
but Meta does give creators some control, right, in the settings.
Yes, and this is crucial. Creators can see all their active testimonials in their creator settings right alongside their other partnership ads.
So you can track what's running.
You can track it, and if a brand oversteps the deal, you have the technical ability to, start the process of getting it taken down. It gives you some leverage.
This brings up a bigger question for me about Meta's strategy. I mean, why comments? Why not just add another feature to Reels or Stories?
Because it all comes back to user behavior, to the psychology of how people actually shop on the platform.
Okay.
Meta's own research says that around, I think it's 40% of people already use creator recommendations on Instagram when they're making a purchase decision.
Okay, so they trust creators.
Yeah.
But where are they looking for that final confirmation?
Exactly. If you're a skeptical shopper and online, that's basically everyone, you see the ad, and then what's the first thing you do?
You scroll down to the comments.
You scroll to the comments to check for legitimacy. Is this thing real? Does it work?
And that section has always been the Wild West. Just a mess of real reviews, fake reviews, angry customers.
Right, total mess. Instagram realized they were sitting on this huge pool of user engagement, this high-intent pre-purchase activity that wasn't officially part of their ad system.
So they're just formalizing what was already happening. They're creating an official, labeled, transparent channel for paid comments.
It's not just about adding new ad space. It's about capturing and directing that user intent that was just sort of leaking out before.
They're professionalizing that moment of peer review.
Yeah. And when you look at TikTok driving all these direct sales, this feels like Meta's move to make its own platform a cleaner, more reliable shopping space. They're essentially monetizing skepticism itself.
I do wonder, though, is there a risk this backfires? If Meta is trying to increase transparency with labels, does it actually just erode trust?
That's the core tension of this whole format, isn't it?
Yeah, if the very first thing I see is a clearly marked paid comment, it immediately makes me suspicious of everything else in that thread.
It's a dilemma. On one hand, yes, the clear label is good for transparency, good for compliance. But on the other hand, it puts immense pressure on the creator.
Because their reputation is now, quite literally, the product being sold.
And unlike a story that vanishes in 24 hours or a post that gets buried in the feed,
This testimonial is pinned. It's stuck right at the top of a high-volume ad campaign for weeks, maybe months.
so if a tech creator I trust endorses a gadget that turns out to be junk, I'm not going to forget that. I'm going to see that endorsement every single time that ad is served to me.
The creator is renting out their credibility.
And if they recommend a bunch of low-quality stuff through this super visible format, that credibility just, it plummets. The whole revenue stream collapses for them. It forces them to be hyper-selective.
Which, in a weird way, might actually be good for the consumer. Well, if I know a creator has put their visible reputation on the line for this one product, I might actually trust it more than some random post. Their endorsement is now a form of liability.
Now, if we switch over and look at this from the advertiser's perspective, this is a performance marketer's dream.
Absolutely. You can now guarantee that you'll have immediate, high-quality, influencer-backed social proof right on your campaign. No more just hoping for good organic comments.
No, and it turns social proof from this, fuzzy, intangible thing into a hard variable that you can measure.
Right. Performance teams are always A/B testing everything. They test 20 different headlines, 10 different images.
And now they can test the testimonial itself.
That's fascinating.
Think about it. A brand can run the exact same ad to two different audiences. Audience A sees a comment from Creator X saying, "This thing is so stable." Audience B sees one from Creator Y saying, "The battery life is incredible."
And they can measure which comment drives more clicks, more conversions.
Exactly. The comment itself becomes a key lever for optimization, just like the ad copy.
And since the deals are direct, it encourages brands to build deeper relationships.
For sure. They could put a creator on a small retainer to provide, say, 3 different testimonials to test over a season. It helps lock in that voice for the long term.
It also acts as a kind of vetting tool for us, for the consumers.
Yeah, I think so. If a new brand can get a few trustworthy creators to attach their names to the launch campaign, that adds instant legitimacy.
And the reverse is true. If some sketchy brand pops up and can't find a single credible person willing to pin their name to the ad.
That's a huge red flag for anyone paying attention.
Okay, so for all the strategic upside here, we have to talk about the practical problems. I mean, this is the comment section. Things are going to get messy.
They are, and the biggest point of friction is still that whole transparency and labeling question.
We know it'll be labeled, but how?
Is it going to be a big, bold banner that just screams paid endorsement?
Or is it going to be a tiny, grayed out tag that most people will just mentally filter out? The design of that label really matters.
It dictates whether this whole thing actually builds trust or just makes people more cynical.
And that leads to the next question, which is about organic discourse. If the first thing you see is paid, do you just assume the rest of the thread is worthless?
Does it just corrupt the whole experience of checking comments for real feedback?
It also creates a huge moderation challenge.
Oh, definitely. So the brand pays for and controls that top pinned comment. But what about all the replies underneath it?
Right. What if 500 people reply to that paid endorsement saying the product is terrible or even calling out the creator?
How does the brand handle that? They can't just delete all the negative replies without causing a huge backlash.
So they're paying a premium for a positive message that might end up being a lightning rod for criticism.
It makes risk management for both the brand and the creator so much harder.
Okay, so for you, the creator listening to this,
Mhm.
this is obviously a big opportunity, but it sounds like one you have to handle very carefully.
Very strategically. We've got, I think, 4 key takeaways for how to do this without, sinking your own reputation.
Let's hear them.
First, you have to treat this as a professional stamp of quality assurance, not just a comment.
So you have to actually vet the product.
Rigorously. If you haven't tried the gadget or the software and genuinely believe in it, you just can't endorse it. You are renting out your reputation in those 125 characters, and the visibility is way too high to fake it.
Okay, that's number one. What's two?
Number 2, negotiate your value based on impact, not word count.
Don't undercharge just because it's short.
Exactly. That tiny comment could be pinned to a multi-million-dollar ad campaign seen by millions of people. Your price needs to reflect the campaign duration, the number of impressions, the geographic scope, all of it.
And third, you have to track everything.
Meticulously. Use the tools in the creator settings for sure, but also keep your own detailed contracts and notes. Document what you agreed to and especially the end date of the campaign.
So you have leverage if they keep running it.
You have leverage. And finally, number 4 is to focus on credibility over volume.
Quality over quantity.
This format demands it. One strong, honest testimonial for a great brand will lead to more business and build trust. 10 lazy ones for random products will kill your authority and shut you out of future opportunities. Longevity here depends entirely on the integrity of that pinned comment. #tag outro.
So zooming out one last time, this whole feature just confirms a trend we've been seeing. Every single part of the platform.
The feed, Reels, DMs.
And now the comment section is being systematically turned into official, measurable ad inventory.
It's the platform finally admitting and capitalizing on the fact that creators are the ones who drive shopping behavior. That 40% stat is gold, and this is the most direct way for brands to plug into that influence.
But the real test, the long-term test of whether this works, is going to be the user reaction.
Absolutely.
If everyone just decides the comment section is now a sponsored swamp, they'll tune it out. The pinned comment will become worthless.
If they accept that a trusted creator can be transparently sponsored and still stand behind a product they believe in, then it might actually work.
So the final question for you, the brand, the marketer, the creator, is this. Will this increased transparency ultimately lead to stronger, measurable conversions, or will it just add to the digital noise that we're all getting better and better at ignoring?
I'd say observe closely, negotiate sharply, and track everything.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.